Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. I'm going to be going out and doing a house wash in Fuquay Arena today. But a few things came up last week and I wanted to talk about it. Last time I did a video, I ended up having to wash a couple sides of the house, I think like 2 or 3 times. And it just didn't seem like my SH was doing what I wanted it to do, because it wasn't. My downstream injector was going out. The next house I washed after that one, I did end up having to change my downstream injector, which I had one in the truck. But then a little bit later on in the week, I actually popped a hose. So that was another 100-foot of hose down the drain. And then to finish off the week, I caught a rock on my windshield. And I even tried the little repair kit over the weekend, and nothing. So I have ordered myself a new hose, ordered myself a new downstream injector, and I'm going to be going today. Have a little bit of room in my schedule. After this one house wash, I can go ahead and get a new windshield installed. And the thing that I really want to touch on today is not so much about getting customers and not so much about getting the jobs, is business stability. And that is a huge thing, especially when you're really small, like me, one-man operation. Something small can really end your business. And so the thing that's really saved me this week is I have contingency plans for my money. And what I mean by that is, when I finish up my month, I see what money I've made, what came in, what went out, and what was left. So I've got my profit, and then I break that down into different categories. So every month I've got a specific amount of money, a specific percentage of my profit that I put aside for taxes. And tax money is not for anything else. Tax money is just set aside for taxes, and that's it. When I get my quarterly taxes need to be paid, I just write a check and it's done. Same thing with equipment replacement. That broken hose, that downstream injector, if that hit me on a bad month, dude, that would be huge if it was like in the middle of February. But I need another hose. Now, of course, I do have spare hoses on the trailer, but I ordered a new hose to replace my spare on the trailer, so I will have a spare, so that if that blows out, I don't lose a $200, $300, $400 job because I don't have a $130 hose on the truck. I've got an equipment replacement fund that a little bit of my money every month, the profit, goes into that fund, so that when something happens, all I have to do is order it, take the money out of my equipment replacement. That's also where I'm saving up for my 8-gallon per minute machine, so that's going to set me back just a little bit. It's one of those things. I made that emergency replacement fund early on because I was new to the business and I didn't know how long my pressure washer was going to last. I didn't know how long the hoses were going to last, downstream injectors, nozzles, all that stuff. When I bought the trailer this year, the trailer came out of a mixture of equipment replacement and undesignated profit funds. I also have a payroll fund on there where I pay myself out of, and that is really just because I don't want, at the end of the day, if I need to buy a new hose, I can't pay myself the full amount because it's not all coming out of one fund. So if you guys don't have an emergency fund, or emergency funds as I would say, I highly recommend you guys start making up a plan, getting a spreadsheet, even just having a spreadsheet of, you've got $2 in your bank account. 25 cents of that is for equipment repair. 50 cents of that is for, taxes. You've got $1 for payroll, and you've got, 5 cents for this, and just kind of go from there. What is my end goal of this is not just to make profit, but to have a sustainable business that will last me for years and years. And that is one thing that is why I have stayed in business for as long as I have, is because when things pop up, like a new windshield, I can't drive without a windshield. Today it is a small crack, maybe about yay big, but if it got bigger, I would have to stop. I would have to have downtime. it might hit me in the middle of spring, it might hit me in the middle of gutter cleaning season, and I have to cancel a job because I can't drive that truck. Or worse, I have to go get a U-Haul, drive a U-Haul around, pay for that all day, and then still have to pay to get the windshield replaced. So having an emergency fund, so when something happens, you have the funds to pay for it, and having the peace of mind of, if something happens during my off season, that's okay. I'm not going to go out of business just because I had a bad month or two. Anyway, that's my rant about money. So let's get out there, let's go watch something. All right, here we go. We got a nice bright yellow house over here behind us. This is actually a neighborhood we've done quite a few jobs in. I was out here a lot this spring, and I was calling it Windy Meadows. And wouldn't you know it, it's windy again today. All right, and this is painted wood siding. It is definitely got a little bit of dinge to it. This is the southern side, so it gets a lot of sunshine. Cute little matching shed in the backyard. That's awesome. 2 stories, should be no issue. Even with the wind, if I need to, I can break out the 12-inch extension just to cut back on my atomization. I actually might do that anyway. This is the north side with a ton of growth on it. So luckily my downstream injector is fresh and ready to rock and roll. And hopefully we can get this re-brightened up. Got some vines here on the front. Overall, not too bad on the other sides other than that north side. A little bit of spider webs. Nothing crazy. Got a Japanese maple right here in the front, so we'll definitely be pre-wetting that along with these rose bushes. Right, 12-inch extension is on, and with that extra foot and then the added atomization relief, I'm able to really wash all the way up to the 2nd story gutter line with a pretty decent fan. So that just, having the right equipment, man, makes everything easier. Now, the peaks on the side, sure, I'm going to have to use the jet, but yeah, having this is definitely nice. I was at a house just down the street a couple years ago. It was like 3 doors down, and spoke with that client today. They were not home at the time of service when I first came out, so when I saw them walking around their yard, I said, yeah, that's definitely, this is a meet and greet opportunity. Again, you know, part of the brand is being friendly and helpful, so if I get an opportunity to convey that in person, I take it. But also just, you know, put a name with the face, let them know I'm a real person. A beautiful Japanese maple here on the back side of the home. I did pre-wet it before we got started. I will do a rinse along with the rest of the house before I'm done with this side. Easy peasy. Yeah. Love this 12-inch extension. Alright, here we go. We are washing this side here. This is 3 stories up. And they said they weren't sure if this was algae or if this was smoke. They said they had some HVAC issues on the side of the house. But luckily, I already cleaned this little section here while I was doing the back of the house. And everything came off with SH, so I did tell them that I was going to treat it like algae and see if that worked, so I'm really glad that we got just algae, you know, just a plain Jane, run-of-the-mill. House needed to be washed. Again, I'm using the 12-inch extension to help with atomization. We are using our standard 1% house wash mix. That's what we use every day. Whether it's super green or just got washed 6 months ago. Just got a phone call while I was setting up on this one. Somebody out in Smithfield wants their house washed, wants me to come out and do it. Said that they generally have it washed every 6 months, so it's not going to be super bad. I did not offer a discount. I never do. The process is the same, so the price is going to be the same. The only difference that I'm going to keep in mind if they contact me in 6 months, or if I can get them on a 6-month schedule while I'm out there, I would be happy to offer them a discount on their next service, and moving forward, getting them on a bit of a lower pricing. But just to start off, it is normal price, and then moving forward, hopefully we can get them on a 6-month schedule. Not this house. This house is this is going to look good for a little while, because I'm already seeing this stuff change. Right, here we go. I mean, this is all the way to the peak with the M5 downstream nozzle. No sharpshooter necessary, even at 3 stories. Just having that foot extension to help with atomization helps get me up where I need to go. And the rest is just let the SH do the work. I don't need any sort of pressure up at the top. I just need to get the detergent up there. You can already see a contrast from the bottom to the top on this algae. Yeehaw. Alright. Over here on the south side, that north side came out, you know, perfect, as it always does, using a little bit of SH. 1%, just enough to get it done. But we've even got a little bit of dinge on this side, and I'm guessing that's because we've got a lot of landscaping over here, so maybe it doesn't get a whole lot of sun. I did, I don't know, some of you guys might have been following along, but a couple weeks ago I recommended a painting company to a client for some deck staining, and they reached out to me and, you know, let me know that that painting company attempted to take on the pressure washing portion of the prep, and whereas I do understand that would be easier for scheduling, she did let them know that it was a pressure washing company that referred them, but they still tried to do the pressure washing through their organization, which, you know, of course loses them any further referrals from me, because, you know, I did not refer them to lose business. I referred them to hopefully help take care of a customer, and yes, if possible, gain another sale. But actively looking for a reputable painting company in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. I'm not really looking for any sort of like bounce back. I'm just really looking for someone that can take care of my clients, and will answer the phone with something other than hello, which is what I got today when I finally got a hold of somebody, was hello. I said, oh no, I may have been making a mistake for a couple years now, and we were part of the same concierge service. Oh, got a little wind there in the face. Same concierge service, which is why I was recommending them. But if you guys know of anybody, hit me up in the comments, because I'm going to need some a name and number to pass around. Here we go, one clean side. This is a, just goes to show 1% is more than plenty. This bright yellow is not very forgiving, so you see every little bit, every little spot, but the entire neighborhood is going to know this one got washed. It looks brand new. I think they're going to be super happy, especially going into the holidays. I even cleaned off their little trash can hider. Those little things are important to the customers, and you know, just keeping everything rinsed off so you don't have to worry about damaging plants. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful home. And one last thing I definitely want to talk about is just, you know, going back to the beginning of this, I don't necessarily have a name for the system I use. It's kind of a hybrid between the profit first economics and then the envelope system used by Dave Ramsey. I don't know. I have not been a Dave Ramsey fan for a very long time, but I've been watching a little bit about what he does, about what he talks about, and a lot of what he talks about are things that I'm already doing. And it's basically like having an emergency fund before you need an emergency fund, and having, you know, saving, you know you're going to have an expense, so, you know, put a certain amount of your profit every month into equipment replacement, because you're going to have equipment break, and when it breaks you may not be able to afford to replace it all at once on that 1 month. And if you do have to like take a couple grand out to replace something, or even just $130 like that pressure hose, it may not be a great time to do it. And at the end of the day, you need a steady, secure revenue with a plan. So if you guys don't have a budget, definitely start working on your budget for 2025. I'm almost done with mine. And have yourself some sort of a system where you put a little bit of money aside and have it designated, have earmarks for everything. You know, I want to make sure that my business is there and it can survive lean times and it can survive bad times, because sometimes things just happen. Like last week, and like right now, I'm sitting in the parking lot to get my my windshield replaced, and I don't have to worry about the money to do it with. I don't want to do it. I don't want to let go of that money, but I have the money for when something like this happens. It's just there, and I can build it back up, and I can do other things with it later if it needs to be, because this repair is not my entire emergency fund. This repair is not going to bottom me out or bankrupt me. And it's just one of those little things that a business has to do, is have cash on hand, or you're going to have to use debt. And using debt is not something I would ever recommend. Another thing that Dave Ramsey and I have in common, make sure y'all have a plan for your money before your money makes a plan for you. A lot of this stuff is just going to happen. And a lot of this stuff is, you know, like February is going to come. February is my slowest month out of the year. So I have to make sure that by the time fall is over, I've padded my payroll enough to pay myself during the shortfalls. That way I don't have to worry about, are my bills going to get paid? Is the truck payment going to get paid? You know, if my pressure washer goes out in the middle of February, I have to buy a new one or else I'm out of business. Period. That's it. So, I definitely recommend looking into like the envelopes money strategy along with profit first, and see if that is something that could work for your business. And if it's not quite there, like me, I use one account. I use my savings account, but I have a spreadsheet that like designates every dollar that's in that savings account on where it's earmarked for, so that I don't end up having an issue paying taxes at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year. And I also know that my money is going to come out for my payment, for me, which is important. You know, that's why we do it. And if I were to hire somebody, I would not want to have to worry about how I'm going to pay them. There's a payroll account, and that makes a huge, huge difference when you have your ducks in a row financially. Well, anyway, that's enough about my rant on money. You guys go wash something and be safe out there.